Hi there, welcome to the Wurdenberg Family Farm. My name's Brenda. Today I'm going to share some of the things I've done for the first time since we bought this farm 5 years ago. Some of them are things I never thought I'd be doing in my lifetime. Well, for those of you that watch our channel, you realize somebody's missing. My husband Don's usually in these videos with me, but he's not here today. So I'm doing one by myself. For those of you that don't watch our channel, my husband Don and I bought this farm 5 years ago. He had retired from the insurance industry and we decided to buy a 40-acre farm. It's quite a retirement plan. So, it's definitely been a very big change. We lived in a suburban neighborhood all of our married life, have 3 kids, going to soon be 9 grandkids, and moving to a farm has been such a learning experience. It's been a wonderful experience, but there's been so many things to learn. Neither of us were raised on a farm, had any farming experience. Now, both of my parents were raised on a farm, and I wish my dad would have been alive when we bought this farm. He would have been just surprised and so proud of us for having a farm. He would have loved seeing the tractors, and that's just one regret. He never got to see the farm. Now, my mom did get to see it. She actually told us we were crazy, which she's right. Most people don't buy a farm when they retire, but we did, and we have learned so much. And these are just a few of the things I've done for the first time and had to learn how to do for the first time. Well, one of the very first things I had to learn about were chickens. I had never had chickens before, never knew anybody that had chickens, didn't know anything about them. And we did buy, I think it was 18 chickens the first year we had the farm. First we had to build the chicken house. That was a learning experience in itself. But there's quite a bit to learn about chickens. I had done some research before we got them, what to feed them, how big of a nest, how many nests they need, how big of a perch area for how many chickens. I had learned a lot, but then once you have chickens, all kinds of things crop up. Broodiness, coughing and sneezing, fly strike. For those of you that know what fly strike is, that's something I never thought I'd have to deal with in my life. Those of you that don't know, look it up. It's pretty disgusting. But I have gone to YouTube when I have those experiences and found out how to take care of them. It's been amazing how much help YouTube has been to me. And after 5 years, I'm not a chicken expert, but I've learned enough that I can help people with chickens. I have friends that ask me advice about chickens. And I just never thought I'd be doing this. It just still surprises me sometimes. I have 46 chickens. Now, another thing was new to me was gardening. Not that I'd never gardened before, but I've never had a garden to this scale. We do raise enough for our family, plus to sell at a farm stand. So to operate a big market garden like that and an orchard was a whole different ball game than a little backyard garden. And we also had to learn how to do it in a high tunnel. We have a big high tunnel we do our tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and some flowers in. And all that, there's a learning curve to it. Number one, just how to create the garden, how to lay out the beds, what to plant where, what you want to plant and what you don't want to plant. There is so much to it. And again, YouTube gardening experts are a big help. And I have learned so much the last 5 years about different plant diseases, plant pests, plant fertilizers, what to do, what not to do. Now, again, I'm not a chicken expert, I'm not a garden expert, but I've learned a lot in 5 years. And every year I learn something else, usually by making a mistake, but I have learned and I have loved gardening. Sometimes it's a little bit of a hassle, yeah, especially when something eats all my plants, but it's been fun learning to garden on that scale. So that's another thing. Chickens and gardening to that point, to that extent, is both new to me. So we had this big market garden. We ended up with a lot of food, and you have to find a way to preserve that food. Now, in suburban life, I had frozen a few things like spaghetti sauce, but I'd never canned I'd never dehydrated, I'd never freeze dried. I have learned how to do all that now. And canning is a blast. Ask my husband what a happy day for me is. It's a day I can spend a day in the kitchen canning, especially making jams, jellies, something like that. But I had to learn it all. And again, YouTube came in very helpful. I went to the experts and looked at all different canning tutorials, learned how to water bath can, pressure can different soups. I mean, everything. It's just amazing all the ways you can preserve food. For some things, canning is the best. Some things, freeze drying is the best. Some things, just freezing it is the best. We have a whole freezer full of fruits and veggies. One of the best things is having meals, whole meals canned, like beef stew, French onion soup. You're busy on the farm someday, you just open a jar and you have dinner. But it's been an uphill, learning curve. But I just have to encourage you, if you ever think you're too old to learn something, if a woman in her 60s can learn it, anybody can. And I love it. I have grown to really love canning. One other thing I never thought I'd be doing is making hay. The first few years, Donnie did it all by himself or had another farmer help him. Well, the last few years, I've been helping him. So we have a pretty good system. He does the cutting, and then I help with the tedding, and I'm raking as he's baling. So I know now how to make hay. I never thought I'd be doing that. And if my dad were here, he would be very proud and surprised to see me making hay. One other first for me is learning to live in an old farmhouse. The original part of our farmhouse was built in 1840, and another section was built in 1880, and then there were some other additions put on since then. But I always dreamed of living in an old house. I love old houses. To me, they just have character and charm that just doesn't come in new houses. So when I found out we were getting a house this old, I was thrilled. But there are some challenges, just like when you put furniture in, most of the floors kind of sag in toward the middle. You just have to learn to work around some little quirks like that. We just redid my husband's bathroom, and there were some challenges in that. Old staircases, the old basement, the root cellar. I mean, they've all been learning curves, but I am just over the moon to have a house this old. Well, another new experience was having cattle. We raise beef cattle, and it was just an experience having them, learning how to feed them, how to care for them, and just how they behave on a farm. It's interesting. But then came the really interesting part when they go to the butcher. And it was tough at first, but then I guess you get used to it, knowing that you raise these things to feed your family, to feed other families, and you get used to it. We have 2 or 3 go to the butcher every fall. So that's been a new experience. I guess you can't really be on a farm without having a tractor, and I had to learn how to run the tractor, specifically the tractor with the bucket in the front. And I had to have a learning class. Donnie taught me how to do it, but now that I've gotten it, it's really kind of cool and it's easy to do. Just scooping up the stuff, dumping it where you want it, and it saves so much time and effort. When you're hauling wood chips, compost, whatever, it saves so much time and so much energy to have this big tractor to do it. I don't know how we would do it without it. We also have bees on the farm, And that's been a new experience. Putting on that bee suit and being around thousands of bees. Now, I've never been scared of bees. I'm not allergic to them. But it still was an adjustment to be able to put on that suit and have these bees flying all around you, especially when you're capturing a swarm where bees just come raining down on you out of the tree. It's an amazing experience. A little weird, but I've gotten used to it, and I enjoy it now.
One, 2, 3.
Whoa, Bessie.
Oh, that was a good cat. Don't dump them too hard there. Okay.
Get the lid on. Quick, 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 they're flying out. I almost forgot one first. That is having a YouTube channel. I watched our video, the very first one we made, the night before we settled on the farm. And just see how we've done. We have improved, hopefully, in our sound and our picture, but just even how we do it. But it's very special to us that you actually want to watch what we're doing and are interested in us. And the comments are amazing. So having a YouTube channel has definitely been a first. It's been a good experience. So thank you again for all the people that watch and that reach out to us and make comments.
We're really excited about starting our adventure on the farm. And many friends said, oh, I would love to have ground and do it. You guys ought to do a YouTube channel. So this is our beginning of the YouTube channel, but we need you. We need those of you who know what you're doing on the farm to give us advice. And we're really just looking forward to support. So, you know, sign up, subscribe.
Subscribe and like and do whatever you're supposed to do on YouTube. So along with all those first, there's just been small things too, whether it be making yogurt for the first time, making sourdough for the first time, making kombucha, kefir, just all kinds of new experiences. And some of those just more homestead things than farming, but that's all things I've learned in the last 5 years. And also spinning honey. With the bees, you get honey. So we had to learn how to spin honey. We made our cider with our own apples. I mean, it's just been constant learning new things. And it really is fun. It can be a challenge at times, you know, especially in our mature years, but it's good to stay active, good to stay learning new things all the time. So we're enjoying it, and I'm very thankful we bought the farm. So thanks for watching me talk about some of my firsts on the farm. We'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.